Hello everyone and welcome back to positionspecific.com and welcome to our new project, the Manager Premier League Journey. My name's Simon, I'm one of the coaches at Position Specific and I've got Mikey alongside me today.
How is everyone?
You'll recognise Mikey's voice from the coaching journey, which has been really good, interacting with you guys, really successful. We've had a lot of fantastic comments, really appreciate that from you. And what we've decided to do is, unfortunately at the moment with this current situation, we've had to put the coaching journey on halt just because of lockdown and the COVID things that are going on. And so just to cover the gap until we get going again with that, we obviously wanted to keep engaging with you guys because that's been a really positive for us from the coaching journey. And so we wanted to start a new project. We just want to keep the chat going really. And so what we decided to do is we've decided to do this project, this Manager Premier League Journey, and we look forward to it.
I think as well, to add their size, the comments that we've had from the coaching journey where people saying it sounded like a really good project. And I think it's not about us, it's about making sure that we do the right stuff for you guys. So like I said, just keep your comments coming and, and if you see anything that you think we could add to any of this as the manager goes on, or even the coaching journey, just let us know. At the end of the day, we're doing this for you guys.
Okay, so guys, this is how we were going to set the project up. We decided to select a squad of Premier League players, so it was completely random. You'll see at the end of the video, we'll show you how we did all that. But what we decided to do is we decided to select players from 20 starting squads from the last Premier League fixtures in February. So effectively, that was all Premier League teams, their starting lineups. We took all those players, put them into categories, and that's how we've selected our squad for this particular project. We decided to select a match day squad and not a full squad. So we've got 18 players. Within that 18 players, we've got 2 goalkeepers. We've got 6 defenders, which will be split up into fullbacks and centre backs. We've got 5 midfielders, which was it wasn't split up actually into DMs and attacking midfielders, which is.
I was just gonna say there, you made a right mess up of that, didn't you?
Yeah. So we actually, you'll see later in the video, we actually got really lucky with the midfielders and forwards because we didn't split that up. So, and you'll see why we got lucky towards the end as well. But 5 midfielders, 5 forwards, and again, like we did it all in a randomizer, and it's generated in the end of this video.
Yep, same with the Premier League fixtures. So like I said, this is the first time that we've done anything like this, and we're just learning on the job. Yeah, so looking at the Premier League fixtures, what we did is we put the 20 teams in there in the generator that Simon had on his computer. We then picked 10 fixtures from that, and then after we finished that, we did a home and away draw. So out the 10 fixtures, we had a good variation of playing at home and away. And I think that sort of helps us out for how we set up for each game.
Yeah, perfect. So what we decided to do as well is so obviously we wanted to guys to get into how a Premier League team might work, or how we would work anyway, from going from game to game. So what we would usually do is if we were playing an opposition, we would usually analyse 3 of the opposition's games. What we're going to do in this project is we're just going to analyse the opponent's previous games. So, for example, if we were playing Arsenal, what we would do is we would analyse Arsenal's game from this weekend, so we can get an idea of what systems they play, what they do in and out of possession, and we'd also take into account sort of the substitutes that they do, whether they bring on a like-for-like substitute or whether they bring on a substitute to change tactics and change the system of play.
And then what we've added to each presentation is we're going to do what we call a weekly plan. So if we was the managers of this team, we would sit down on a Sunday and have a bit of a chat with each other. And then on the Monday, we'd then get the whole team in and then plan out the whole week of what that looks like. Now, what we're going to do for you is for the first 4 or 5 fixtures, we're just going to work off a 1 game a week. So that's Saturday to Saturday, maybe Sunday to Sunday. And then as we move into the back end of this project, we'll start to add 2 game weeks so you can see how we plan our week around that. So what does a physical load look like on the players, and what do we prioritise of what we're going after for that fixture? We'll also then pick out 2 sessions from the weekly plan. Now, when we're talking about sessions, if anybody's been watching the journey, a session can be 2 or 3 practices, all focused on what our plan is against the opposition for that week.
And finally, obviously, like each game, we want to try and make this as real as possible. Even though obviously we're making it all up, but we want to obviously generate a score. So the idea that we had was that we were going to roll the dice a couple of times and generate a score, so we can move forward into the next week and the next game. If you guys have got any ideas of how we could generate a score that's different to rolling dice, then please make us aware and stick it in the comments below. And the only reason we want to know the score is because you guys will all know, like, the result of the game always affects your following week and your following training sessions and stuff. So, for example, if we lost 6-1, then that might affect our approach into the next game. And obviously, as the fixtures go on as well, if we've lost 2 or 3 games on the bounce, then again, obviously, those scores and results will affect how we set up in the 4th game.
I mean, listen, if there's anybody out there who's like a big Football Manager fan and has time to put the squad together and run through the Premier League, then that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have time, Si?
Absolutely not, no.
No, I think it took over my life when I was younger. That
it ruined my degree at university, so this might be a bit easier.
So when we're talking about the opposition analysis, I think Si mentioned it earlier, we would like to do a minimum of 3 to 5 games and try to follow regular patterns. As you can see on the screen here, what we'll always start with is like, what does a starting structure look like from the opposition? And then does that change throughout the game? And is there patterns of when they make a substitution? So if we're looking at just the previous game, this will be quite a short presentation, but it'll just give you an idea of what structure they played and the changes they made. If there's anything else that we feel that we've seen maybe games before, then we'll highlight in this area here. But this just gives us an idea when, if they make a substitution, does it change the tactics and their mindset? So this will just be a short slide on the opposition analysis.
So what we'll do, obviously, off the back of the opposition analysis, is we'll kind of show you guys how we're going to set up to play against them as well. So we'll show you how we're going to set up in terms of our formation against their system, out of possession and obviously in possession as well. So again, it'll be a short slide, but we'll just give you an idea of our ideas on how we would play up against that particular opposition.
Then what we'll do is we'll look at the opposition's defensive organisation. Now, we don't want to run through all 3 phases. So when we're talking about low block, medium block and high press, we're just going to pick maybe 1 or 2 things that we're going to go after within the game. Now, obviously, if we was doing this for real, then we'd have a full detailed like analysis in all the areas, but then we'd be doing a presentation for 3-4 hours. So on this one here, just to give you an example, the opposition defensive organisation, we're focusing on the press. So we would then look at the previous game and see if we can see familiar patterns on how they're going to press. And if we can find another pattern that they go to, whether now that might be whether they make a change, or it might be how the game's going, and then we'll put that to the right-hand side. What we might also do is we might have a high press on the left, we might have a medium block on the right. But what this will do will just give you an idea of what we saw in the previous game in the defensive organisation.
I think it's just worth mentioning here, guys, at the same time, as like during this, obviously the opposition's analysis and little bits of like their defensive organisation and our attacking organisation, is we'll put some still pictures in of the opposition, and we'll just kind of like show you what we're talking about as well. It's really hard to put videos in because like YouTube and various social media platforms like are really crisp on getting to videos and stuff and kicking you off their various platforms and stuff. So we'll just be using stills, but we'll try and highlight it as the best we can. This next part we'll do is we're just going to work on, so this will be our attacking organisation against their defensive organisation. This is how we're going to build our attacks against maybe their high press or their medium block. So again, it'll just be a couple of ideas that we'll have where it might be taking out their press or finding a way through their press where we can get into the opposition's half.
And then as before, we're just going to mirror it, but we're just going to flip it now. So the opposition's attacking organisation, and we're just using it as an example in this presentation of building the attack. But this could be building the attack, creating the attack, or finishing the attack. You know, obviously, if we're playing someone like Man City, we're probably going to focus on maybe all three areas because they're really good at it. Or it might be somebody who plays more direct and works around creating and finishing the attack. Then that's what we'd focus in this area here now. So just an example here, if we can find a pattern of them building or creating or finishing, then we'll add it to the left. And then if we can see another pattern, then we'll add it to the right. So we're just mirroring what we went through before.
So finally, obviously, like when we've discussed how the opposition build or create or finish their attacks, we will show you our defensive organisation in terms of how we're going to operate against that, or in this instance here, how we're going to press. So, like Mikey mentioned before, if we're playing against Man City, obviously we'll show you ways that we're probably going to like press against their building the attack. So we'll have a press on one side, and then like Man City are very good. Obviously, if they change how they're playing out from the back, then we'll alter our press on the right hand side.
So when we're looking at the weekly schedule here, I won't look through the schedule and start reading everything now because we've just copied and pasted everything into an area. But this just gives you an idea of what we're going to work through. So ideally, this would be a one-game week. So on a Monday would be where our coaches meeting is after me and Si had met. Then we'd go through like the medical, S&C, and then we'd start to plan. Now what we'll do is we'll give you an idea of how this would look within the build-up for the fixture on a Saturday. So as you can see here, green would be what we call like a light day. A yellow would be a medium to heavy. And then obviously the pink/red will be like a heavy day. Now we might tweak this. This might be something that, like Si said before, if we get beat 6-1, which hopefully doesn't happen, then we might have to go a bit heavy on some of the days as well to try get our methods across. What we'll do is we'll try treat this like it's our team and on how we would work in relation to the fixture and what happened the week before. And then obviously as we go through to maybe fixture 6, 7, and 8, then this will change because we'll start having 2 games throughout the week. But hopefully it just gives you an idea of what it looks like when you're working in the professional game. Anything on that side?
Yeah, just like obviously, guys, like as Mike said, now there's like we'll try and go into quite a bit of detail on these as well, and we'll kind of show you how we'd work through the week in terms of like the physical returns from all the sessions as well. So that might be that might be pitch size, or it might be duration of session and stuff like that. But we'll try to go into a fair bit of detail for this bit as well. But like anything we do, guys, if you've got any questions about any of this stuff when we put it out, then just make sure you ask in the comments.
Yeah, no, great point, I think, there as well. And like Si said there, we'll go into as much information as we would if we was, doing it ourselves. And also we'll play, if you look at the information bit at the bottom of each column, we've got like command style approach. What we'll do is we're going to play with that as well, because we've started to do it over the last couple of seasons of when we're more command and in Q&A and self-discovery. So we'll explain that a little bit more in depth as we go through the weeks as well. What we will do from this schedule is we'll only maybe pick 2, maybe 3 sessions, depending on how much time we've got in the week to put it together. But it'll give you an idea of what we're going after for that fixture. And like Si said, if there's anything else that you want us to maybe add or something that we've forgotten about, then just leave your comments below and we'll try, put it together so it benefits you as an audience.
Right, everyone. Okay, we're going to pick our squad of Premier League players. As we mentioned before, put a list together from the Premier League games, starting lineups of each club from the Premier League games at the end of February. So my partner in crime has got a list. I've got a generator here, so we're going to pick the goalkeepers first. We've got a list of 20 goalkeepers, so we're going to pick 2 from that. We'll also do the fixtures in here as well, but we'll do that at the end of the squad. So we're going to do a bit of an MLS style draft. And hopefully pick our squad and hopefully pick a good squad for this project. So first number coming out, pressing the generator, number 12.
Lloris, it is.
Not bad. Spurs number 1. That'll do. Yeah,
that's a great start. At least I can pronounce that one.
Yeah, yeah, that was a worry. Okay, let's go for goalkeeper number 2. Number 14.
Schmeichel.
Oh, not bad. 2 decent goalkeepers there. It's going to be you're gonna have to talk to them too, mate. Who's going to be number 1?
It's going to be a difficult one. That I think it's going to be a challenge of dealing with the egos there, kid.
Definitely. Right. How many? So what we're going to do next is we're going to pick our. Are we picking 3 fullbacks?
We'll go for 3 fullbacks, and there's 40 on the list here.
Okay. So let me just cancel that one. Good start from the goalkeepers. So yeah, what I probably should have explained at the start is that we've got a list of goalkeepers, fullbacks, centre backs, midfielders, and forwards, and we're picking a match day squad of 18. So we're going to have 3 fullbacks in our match squad of 18. Okay, right, ready? First fullback is number 37.
37. Let me just scroll down. Veltman from Brighton.
Oh, not bad. Has he played?
He must have got his only start in that last fixture.
Yeah, I think he's more of a wing back, but we'll roll with it.
Listen, if he's one of Potts' players, we're in.
Yeah, but we could do with a bit of variation, couldn't we? Yeah. Right, here we go. Fullback number 2, 33.
Wan-Bissaka, Man United.
So at the moment we've got 2 right fullbacks. Didn't think about this, did we?
No, one of them's going to have to do a job at left back. But we're hoping for this third one to be a left back.
Yeah. Okay. All right, ready? Fullback number 3. 17.
17. Stevens.
Ender Stevens. Oh, that's all right.
Sheffield United.
Yeah. He's a left back.
That's worked out well.
Well, left wing back. So
perfect.
Yeah, but to be fair, we might get lucky on the old centre CBs, mate. We might get one that can do a bit of both.
Not bad. Quite happy with that.
Okay. How many midfielders are there?
Centre backs now.
Oh, centre backs. Sorry, yeah. Getting excited.
So we have got 45 centre backs.
Okay, 45 centre backs, and we're picking 4, aren't we? No, 3.
3. Picking 3.
Okay, right. Centre back number 1. Number 35.
35. Diaz.
Oh, yes. My favourite.
Wow. I'm happy with that.
I know. If only this was real. Right, centre back partnership. Be great if this was John Stones, wouldn't it? Here we go. Number 2.
Ooh, number 2. Cody, Wolves.
Oh, tell you what, we're flying here, aren't we?
And then we need someone in there as a bit of a backup.
Yeah, we could do the lefty again here.
Or someone who could step in over Cody.
Yeah, could do with the lefty here, couldn't we? Right, here we go. Number 27.
27. Dyer. Spurs.
Not bad. Yeah, not bad.
This team's looking all right. I think we could win Premier League with this.
I know, yeah. If it was ideal though, we'd have had a lefty centre back in there, wouldn't
we? Yeah, 100%.
For balance and everything. Okay, right. Midfielders.
We have 58 midfielders on the list.
Okay. And before I go on to this, before I go on to this, people who are watching, we've had a bit of a nightmare with this one because I've listed all the midfielders together. Schoolboy error, I didn't separate them into defensive midfielders and attacking midfielders, so we could get a full squad of attacking midfielders here, but we'll roll with it anyway. So
that could fall into our training plan though, where we might have to do some position specific to try show one of the players how to play a holding role if we are missing one.
Oh, love it, mate. Love it. You've done this before, haven't you? Right. Here we go. Midfielder number 1 is 32.
32. Lingard, West Ham.
He's flying at the moment. That'll do. That's all right. Plenty of movement beyond the defensive line. We'll take that.
Options to play in a wider area as well.
Yeah. Good. Midfield number 2, number 44.
44. You're going to like this one.
Go on.
Gundogan.
Oh, tell you what, we are flying in this team.
A bit of an 8. He could play the 4, could play the 8, could play the 10.
Yeah, we've nailed it. We're picking 5 midfielders, aren't we?
5 midfielders and 5 forwards.
Yeah.
Did we say?
Yeah. Midfielder number 3.
We can delete that one out.
Number 16.
16. Cork, Burnley.
Okay. He's all right. I don't mind Jack Clark, to be honest.
No, he's steady away, isn't he?
Yeah, he played well last night, actually, against Leicester. He was, to be fair, he was having a bit of chat with Brendan at the end of the game last night. Where would he have played for Brendan?
Not too sure, to be fair.
No, I'm not either. Oh, never mind.
Right.
So this is midfielder number 4, isn't it?
Midfielder number 4.
Okay. Number 29.
29. Loftus-Cheek.
Not bad. A bit of an attacking one again, isn't it?
Yep. Could do with more of a holding midfielder for this last one for balance, but yeah. I'm pretty sure we could get one of the other ones to play in a deeper role if we're looking at a midfield 3.
Okay, right, here we go. Number 9.
Number 9. Oh, you can't write it.
Go on.
Who do you think we've got?
Give me a clue.
Plays for Chelsea.
Kante.
Yes.
Oh, we've nailed it. Oh, right, everybody go home. Don't need forwards now.
Just so everybody knows, we are not rigging this, by the way. We have got a list of a lot of players, and like this midfield is there's 58 players. And as you can see on the screen, it's generated. We are not rigging this and making it up. If you want us to put this list up, we can do.
Okay, right, on to the forwards then. Again, just for the guys that are watching, I listed the forwards as forwards altogether. So there could be 9s in there, there could be wide forwards in there, there could be inverters in there, or whatever. So a little bit similar to midfielders.
There is 56 in here.
Okay, 56. All right, mate. Ready?
Yep.
First one out of the hat is number 7.
Number 7. I'll take that. Ings, Southampton.
Oof, good start. Solid number 9. Okay, next one. 45.
Let me scroll down. James, Man United.
Dan James.
Bit of pace.
Nice. Good winger, yeah. He's played well recently as well, actually.
Yeah, agree.
Okay. Number 18.
Number 18. Yep, I'll take that. Richarlison at Everton.
Yep, enjoying this. 2 more, is that right?
We have got 2 more.
At least we've got front 3 there anyway, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
14.
14. Pereira, West Brom.
Oh, he's not bad, you know. I like him.
He can play either side as well, can't he?
He's not the one that went from West Brom to West Ham, was it? And everyone was kicking off about it. It's not that one, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Right, last one. Number 20.
Number 20 is Salah, Liverpool.
Oh, we nailed it. Mate, you're going to have to put this list up because people are going to think we're absolutely rigged this.
I know, yeah.
We've actually more or less picked, apart from the left-hand side centre half, lefty centre half, we've more or less picked out perfect balance there.
Sorry, mate. The one, was it 14 before?
Yeah.
It's Brownhill at Burnley.
Oh, right, okay.
My mistake, that.
Is he a forward?
I don't know. We'll have to check. Either way, we're going to have to work with him, Simon. He's going to be like our 5th player in our attacking line because all the rest are going to be starting.
Okay.
So,
right. Well, guys,
apologies for that mistake.
Yeah.
My bad.
No worries. That concludes the draft. We just need to do fixtures now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on current Premier League standings. So I'll put the generator at number 1 to 20. and then we'll pick out. We're doing 10 fixtures or 12 fixtures?
10 fixtures.
10
I'll put
fixtures.
the,
Yeah, but like we mentioned earlier in the presentation, that we'll have a few weeks of Saturday to Saturday, and then we'll have a few where we put in a midweek game as well. So just to show you how we probably alter the weekly plan. So do you want me to get the league table up, or do you want to do it?
I've got the league table up.
Okay.
It's already there.
You ready?
It's ready to go.
Here we go. First one out is number 4.
West Ham.
Okay. Top 4 team at the moment, flying. That'll be interesting. Next game, number 13.
13 is Crystal Palace.
Okay, another interesting one to play against. Going to get a bit of variety here anyway, aren't we?
Yep.
Okay, next one. Number 10.
Number 10, Arsenal.
Okay. Interesting. Number 11. I know who this is.
Leeds United. We've got Marcelo.
That is a tough one to play against, isn't it? Okay. Number 18.
18 is Fulham.
In a bit of form at the moment, so that'll be good.
Yep.
5 fixtures. Number 16.
Brighton.
Interesting. Okay, next one. Number 20. Sheffield United, isn't it?
Sheffield United. Yep.
How many to go?
2 seconds.
We've had 2 in the top 10.
What, 3 more to go?
3 to go. Okay, we could do with some in the top 10 here.
Newcastle United.
Could win this league.
Got it.
2 to go, yeah.
2 more to go.
Number 1.
Manchester City.
Yeah.
Bring on the big guns.
And last but not least, number 7.
7 is, just pull it up, Everton.
Oh, decent. Okay, so we've got our 10 teams that we're going to play against. Oh, sorry, our 10 fixtures that we're going to play against. So what we'll do now is we'll generate a 1 or a 2, just so that we get a home and away fixture. So, because obviously that will affect your working week in terms of traveling and stuff like that. So if it's number 1, it'll be a home fixture. If it comes up number 2, it'll be an away fixture. Okay, here we go. West Ham.
West Ham.
At home. Who's next?
Palace.
Palace. Away.
Moving on to Arsenal.
Also away.
See us get 5 aways here.
Yeah, absolutely struggling. Who's next?
Leeds United.
Leeds United away as well.
Nice. If we can pick up 1 point from them games, we'll be happy.
I know, a lot of away travel here, mate. Players aren't going to be happy. Next one is away. Wow.
Brighton.
On the south coast. All right, next one. Get in there. Home game. Who was that against?
Home against Brighton.
Oh, was it? Sorry, was that the away one? Okay. Or was that the second that one?
Fulham was away before.
Yeah. How many is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 in it. 4 to go.
4 to go.
Who have we got next?
Sheffield United.
And we are playing them away.
We love an away tie.
Do at the moment. Who have we got next?
Newcastle.
Newcastle. And we are playing them at home.
Manchester City.
Also at home.
And then last of all, Everton.
Away.
Away.
So that's quite even, isn't it? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 home fixtures, 6 away.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
So looking at the squad, I think we got quite lucky here, Si, if I'm honest.
Absolutely. Yeah, we like I mentioned before, I actually put the list together of the Premier League teams, like all the starting 11s for that particular weekend, and I was clever enough to, obviously I put the goalkeepers separately, and I was clever enough to separate the full-backs and the centre-backs. But when it came to the midfielders and the forwards, I didn't think about it too much. And for someone who, or for a couple of coaches who are high on balance and love balance in a squad, then that's not the ideal thing to do. But as you'll see, for right now, we got quite lucky.
I think on this one as well, like I want to try and get everybody involved with this, so anybody who does watch the video, let's get your comments on it. Like, what are you thinking goalkeeper wise? What's your philosophy? Do you want to build? Would you go with experience here? I mean, for me, it's going to be a difficult choice for us on what we go with here. So I don't know about you. You've got a World Cup winner and you've got a Premier League winner. I've got an idea who I would go with. So, but you might be different to me. But I want to hear what everybody else is thinking about the two keepers that we got, and if we could have got better, really, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's one of them where, like, I think both keepers are currently in teams that, like, sort of do build attacks from the goalkeeper, but, like, won't as well. So they'll go a little bit longer as well. So I think, if you look at someone like Edison at Man City, who's so competent in building the attack, then I wouldn't say these two goalkeepers are in that bracket, but still, obviously, still two fantastic goalkeepers in terms of all the goalkeeping attributes they bring to the party as well. Again, like I'm always a big advocate of like a left and a right as well. So it'd be interesting to get your thoughts around like a left-footed or a right-footed goalkeeper.
Perfect. So I'll leave your comments in below. Let's hear what you think around the goalkeepers and the whole squad as we go through it, actually. So looking at the defenders here, Si, I'm quite happy with the balance that we've got here. There's a couple of players in here that I'll be honest, that I haven't watched closely too much. But when I look at like maybe a back four, it sort of picks itself for me and what I'd go after, or maybe moving into a back three, which would be potentially really effective because there's three players in there, in Cody, Diaz and Dyer, who have played in a back four and a back three this year. And then you've got potential of a real solid right back and wing backs in there. So what do you think?
Yeah, just like you mentioned there, I think we've got a bit of everything, and then obviously like in terms of like Ruben Dias at the moment, I think he's not far off already being one of the best centre backs in the Premier League, if not European football. But no, yeah, balance. Like I keep saying, like we're huge advocates on balance and of your team and stuff. And we'll get into that as we go through this project. But I think within this as well, I think we've got a couple of players who are comfortable playing wing back positions rather than as well as full back. Like Mikey said, I think we've got centre backs who can play in a 2 or a 3. I also think as well, like we've got like in terms of Ender Stevens, especially like we've got someone who can play who's actually a full back / wing back, but he could also play in a back 3 as well. Which when we get into the system stuff later on, you'll see why that's quite important for us. But we were panicking a bit towards this as well because we didn't have a left footer until Ender came out as well. So again, going for balance and stuff, it's always important to think about those things.
I think one of the things to add to that as well is if you look at like the mindset of each one of these players here, they're very different. You've got players in here who are really focused on the in possession stuff, and then you've got players here who really focus on the defending side. So Cody stands out to me that he's just an absolute defender, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to get clean sheets, and even looking at Diaz now, and like you're saying, they're probably one of the best around in at this moment in time. I would say, especially for his age. The way that he just loves a clean sheet, but he can play as well. And then, on the side of that, I think Wan-Bissaka at the moment's at the top of the charts for 1v1 duels. So we've got a real good balance, I think, here of attacking and defensive mindset as well, Si, thinking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys want to see some, I mean, we'll probably do it anyway, but we'll stick some stats in around our squad, in possession and out of possession, and just some of the stuff that we'd look for stat-wise as well.
Yeah, I've already started looking at all that. Soon as this came out yesterday, I was on it. I thought I was managing the Prem for real.
Yeah.
Like I said, if anybody wants to put this team together in Football Manager, more than welcome.
Yeah. So like as I said, we were a bit worried about this part because again, going back to balance, we weren't sure whether we were going to get an out and out kind of defensive midfielder and two attacking, or if we're going to get all out attacking and then we'd maybe have to get someone to play in those deeper roles. But like I think and Kante was our last selection, wasn't he? He came out last as well, didn't he?
Yeah, that was really
Yeah.
lucky.
So we do get a little bit lucky than that. And listen, like if you guys have seen any of our stuff before, like we're huge advocates of N'Golo Kante, and these a shameless plug here, but we actually brought out a defensive midfielder out of possession book, and he features mainly in that as a profile, and a lot of the drills and stuff that we put together in that are focused around what he can do in his position. So like I said, shameless, but if you guys haven't checked that out, then it's on our website, which is which you should go and have a look. But yeah, balance in here, fantastic. Obviously got players who can sit deep. We've got obviously Gundogan who can go in between the deeper roles and the higher roles, and he could act as a double pivot. And then obviously we've got people like Lingard and Loftus-Cheek who can penetrate that defensive line with forward runs from midfield, which is really essential for our kind of how we operate as a team.
Yeah, I think for me, I think the main thing that I was looking for, that I always look for, is have we got a 4, an 8, and a 10 side, and something that we've talked about plenty of times, and that's all I was wishing for. And we had plenty of 8s and plenty of 10s, knowing that Gundogan can play a bit deeper as well. Cork can play a bit deeper, but for me, you need that out and out defensive minded player in there to allow the others to play, and that's all I was looking for. Now, listen, also as well, looking at the balance of who could play in a 2, and Kante can play in a 2. And then we've also got the options of attacking midfielders who can play in wide areas, or if we go to a diamond. So quite happy with this midfield balance, especially when we got Kante late on. What I do want to say is we'll play it real as well. So if any of these players pick up an injury in the next 10 weeks, then we'll take them out the squad. I mean, leave your comments below whether we should just stick with the squad or whether we should actually go with what we've decided. So if Kante does get injured, how do we adapt? But let's hope he stays fit, Si.
Absolutely, yeah.
So on to the attackers. I think there's a player in here, Si, who's actually a midfielder.
Yeah, another mistake, guys. But listen, these things happen.
Yeah, so we're going to have to adapt here, and again, I'll be honest with you. There's a couple of players in here that I want to do a little bit of research on and find a little bit more about them before I actually talk about them too much. But if we are just going to focus on the attacking line, I think 4 out of 5 there, we all know, and we all know what they're going to offer. I think we've got a good balance of left and right as well there. If you go back to the midfielders as well, we know that there's players in there who can play in wider areas as well. So I'm happy with that. Main thing for me is there a goal scorer in there? And I think there is. Well, there's two out of them who are known as scoring 20 plus goals a season. So for me, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like whenever it goes back to midfielders as well. Whenever you look at the balance of your front three, you always kind of want a bit of variation. So like, and we've got pretty much got that in these attackers that we've managed to get here. So like, obviously Danny Ings can be an out and out 9. We've got Dan James who could be an out and out winger on one side, and then like some of the other players could be an inverter on the other side. Like, and Salah likes to play on the right, even though he's a left footer. And Richarlison's played out right, but obviously both of them two could play down the middle as well. So I think the only thing we're missing in here really is like an out and out left-footed wide player, which would have brought us perfect balance. But this is the card we've been dealt, so we'll fire along with it.
I don't think there's many out and out left-footed wingers these days, anyway. So if I'm honest, but it's my opinion.
Speaking in a perfect world, mate. So we're always chasing perfection, aren't we?
Yeah, if we could do a couple of transfers, that might be an idea. We could maybe do a couple of transfers halfway through. Maybe we'll leave that up to everybody who's watching the video.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what we will do as well, guys, is like if obviously if we get the engagement that we've had on the coaching journey, especially, then you guys might suggest like that one of our players, if you might watch the games of the weekend and Someone, for example, might like Mohamed Salah might not have a great game. I know he got brought off last night to his disappointment against Chelsea. So you might stick in the comments, well, Salah wasn't very good last week, so he should be dropped. And then we'll take that into consideration. We'll take all your comments into consideration. So, and that'll keep it a little bit real, because that's what happens week to week anyway at clubs. So anything like that, will be interesting.
What I would love to see, Si, is what everybody's starting 11 would be from this squad and what shape they'd go with, without even taking into consideration what the first fixture is. I'd love to see what everybody's starting 11 would be and what it'd look like in that possession. So if you want to jump in there, maybe fire something in there. If you don't want to put it on the YouTube channel, send us a direct message through one of our social media platforms with a picture. Or just as a squad base, because I know there's a lot of people who've been commenting on our videos, mate, and there's some really good coaches out there who've given me some really good ideas as I've been going along as well. So it'd be good to see what they think and what they'd go with, because we might get this team relegated, by the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is potential to lose all these 10 fixtures, isn't there? So we could be in a relegation fight after that. But no, like Mikey just said, then guys, absolutely, because don't just go for what we've said. Build it in kind of your vision and how you want your teams to play. Because it's always interesting to find out about coaches' thoughts and styles and stuff.
So just a quick look at the fixtures. So the first fixture will be West Ham at home. Si, fancy ourselves in that, mate. Although they've been doing really well. What do you think?
Surprise package this season, West Ham. David Moyes obviously done an unbelievable job with them, who are currently, to be fair, I haven't checked the league table today, but I think they might have just dropped out of the places last night after Chelsea beating Liverpool. But yeah, having an unbelievable season, so credit to them. But it'd be interesting to see watch their game this weekend and see how we can break them down.
I think with them, it's I think everything looks very simple and very clear from the manager and the coaching team, and I think they obviously utilise the set players really well. So once we get to watch them, I think their next fixture is Leeds, I think, Si, on Monday. Am I right or wrong?
Monday night.
So we can have a watch of that, and then we'll do our analysis and start to build what the week's going to look like. We might even watch a little bit of the last game. So fixture 2, Crystal Palace away.
Sorry, Mike, I was just going to jump in there again, guys. Same with this, watch the game Monday against Leeds. We'll watch it and then, maybe chuck a couple of comments in there or a couple of points that you might go after, and we'll see what that's like compared to what we had.
Yeah, brilliant, excellent. So Palace second game away.
Yeah, tough
thoughts on that?
Always a tough place to go to. A little bit inconsistent this year in terms of the form. They can either be really good and solid one week, and then like we saw a couple of weeks ago against Leeds, it was they weren't so much. So yeah, bit of a mixed bag. Great result against Man United the other night, so it'll be interesting to play them.
Arsenal away, tricky fixture. Someone I've got my eye on. Just want to see how he develops as a manager, but I think they're a little bit inconsistent at the moment, and I know Arsenal fans will be sick of hearing that because it's been going on for the last few years now. But I really think that he's got some good ideas on how he plays and things, and it'd be good to see how they play in the previous game up to when we play them, and I think that'll be like a real tactical, detailed sort of week for us, moving into that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's I agree with you. I think what Arteta's doing there is quite interesting. A lot of good young players coming through there as well. He was given a chance to, and yeah, different. I mean, listen, the Premier League's full of variety anyway, which is what I really like about it. You'll play teams who play different shapes. You'll play teams who play different strategies and tactics and stuff. And Arsenal are no similar to that. They've played a couple of different shapes already this season. They've actually a couple of times moved within shapes in the game, or in and out of possession, which is interesting as well. So yeah, it'll be good one to look and break down that one as well.
Well, we've had a couple of debates about these, haven't we? Around when the game's on, like when we're messaging each other and talking, and we're on about are they playing a 3 at the back or they're playing a 4 at the back. So it'll be interesting when we both sit down and have a look at this, and also if you guys want to have a look as well and get back to us and tell us what your thoughts are on what you feel that they're going to be doing in the game before. Leeds United.
Yeah, another tough one. As I said, I think again, I think they've been a phenomenal package this year, Leeds United. Brilliant to watch. Really interesting what some of the stuff they do. Obviously, we're massive Bielsa fans, and a lot of our stuff that we've got comings around around a lot of what Bielsa does as well. So yeah, interesting one. Like, love watching them. So it'd be interesting to see if we can put a plan together that might be able to get a result against Leeds.
Now we've got Marcelo, mate. Sorted. 3 points.
We should be able to. Knowing what we do and know about him, we should be able to.
I wish. Fulham, for me, like if you're watching them over the last couple of weeks, I think they've been a decent side to watch. I'm honest,
yeah, like really unlucky again last night. I mean, well, I've just seen on the news now that they've changed the rule now. So the goal that they got disallowed last night for like stupid handball. Like, and listen, like, guys, we're not getting to the rules and the VAR stuff going on at the moment, but
no, let's get into it. Come on, let's have a run.
I don't think we've got time, but yeah, Fulham would have got a result last night, which is a bit of a shame for them. So, but I'm sure they'll go again. But I think out of the bottom three, I think they're probably the most informed team at the moment, and probably likely the only one that's got a chance, I think, of getting out of the situation. So, but credit to them, like they've come up and they've played what I think is a decent style of football for a promoted team. So hopefully they will get out of it.
I'm not sure if you remember, Si, when they were in the Championship, I had them as getting promoted, and I might have done I think I did a bit of analysis on one of the courses around them. I don't know if you remember that. And I always liked how they played and how there was and the structure and how Parker was with his team. I just felt when they came into the Premier League, like it was just a bit of a shock for them, and they just needed to take a little bit of pressure off them. And I think as soon as they fell into that bottom three and were really struggling, there must have been a chat between the group and even maybe the chairman involved there, just like, look, there's no pressure on you, just go and enjoy it. And for me, I think that's what I'm seeing now from that Fulham team. I'm seeing like signs of how they played when they're in the Championship and they believed in what they were doing, that they'd get them promoted. So do I think that they've got the quality individually? Probably not. But when you've got a team who are playing with no fear, for me, that they're always dangerous out of the sides like that. So that'll be an interesting one, how we match up against them.
Yeah, definitely. I think like when you go back to how this obviously is a very strange season. I think Fulham, like out of all the promoted teams, will probably have the strangest off seasons, because like they obviously had to do the whole playoff scenario and Wembley and win there, and then 3 weeks later they're straight into Premier League season. So there's not really much time to prep and stuff. So I think if they do get out of it, I think it'll be an unbelievable story.
Agree. Brighton, interesting one for you, Si.
Yeah, personally, yeah. I've been like known Graham Potter so well. So yeah, I think again, like Brighton, I think great to watch. I think the style of play, really like kind of can see what they're trying to do when they play. And that's one of the big things for me and Mikey is like that. When you watch a game and especially watching a Premier League game, it's important for us that we can see an identity and see what teams are trying to do, and you can definitely see that with Brighton. So yeah, that'll be an interesting again, another one like tactically, different shapes. Float from a 3 to a 4, that sort of thing on the defensive line. So yeah, again, interesting one. So if only they had a goal scorer, if only they had Danny Ings like we've got, they'd be all right, wouldn't they?
I think they'd be fine, mate. Yeah. What was the stat that you gave me the other day from them that they'd got in the box how many times? Do you remember?
I think that, well, the last one I sent you was I think they've created 65 chances in the last 3 games and scored 1 or 2 goals or something like that. So
was that like your team? Could you not score? When you played for him, could you not score goals as well?
No, we were all right. We had the level we were playing at, we were okay. We had a couple of goal scorers, so it was that wasn't too bad. But I think the Crystal Palace game was the big one. I think that particular night, I think they got into Palace's box like 52 times or something, and only scored 1 goal, and obviously missed penalties and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, if they can sort that bit out, then I think they'd be a top half team.
I think if Pep Guardiola's praising you and talking about your philosophy and how you are, then you've got to take a bit of pride from that, haven't you? And obviously take notice as a fan that he's actually better than, not so much better, it's probably not the right word for it, but he's probably going to eventually be better than what Brighton is. as a manager.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like one of the, like, I won't get into this too much, but like one of my bugbears as well is like that. When people turn around and goes, oh, they need a 20 goal a season man. Well, listen, like the 20 goal a season men are all at top clubs playing in the Champions League. Like, they're very difficult to find, and if they are found, they're playing in the top team. So give Brighton a break is my view on that.
Yeah, good team to watch. So I enjoy watching them. So moving on to Sheffield United, something that me and you have like talked about loads this year, and you're probably winning the argument. Actually, I've always talked about this Sheffield United team and how they're played. I've always been fascinated with them playing three at the back and how they've come from League One right into the Premier League. And I love what Wilder's done with that side. And even looking at Wilder's record, similar to sort of when we first started managing side, like in the lower leagues, how he must have adapted and got his team playing like they're playing now. You can see why he was successful. So for me, I've been sort of backing Sheffield United, whereas when they'd lost the first 5 or 6 games, you said that they're probably going to be in that bottom 3, didn't you? So we've had like a bit of debate about this all year, but I think you're going to win this debate, mate, by the looks of it. But again, real tough side to break down, real honest side, real awkward team to play against. And we'll have to have a look at how we would approach that depending on the results before we play them. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think like it's a bit, it's a bit of a shame Sheffield United, but what we've got to remember is that like they got back-to-back promotions from League One. So like when they're in the Premier League last year, like that was off the back of back-to-back. That's ridiculous. Like no team does that. That's incredible. So like I think who's I'm just trying to think of who's doing well. I think Lincoln and Doncaster, for example, doing well in League One at the moment. Like would you ever turn around and go in 2 years' time they're going to be in the Premier League? There's no chance, is there? I know Sheffield United are a big club, but that's just an unbelievable jump, isn't it? So I think last season like they rode the wave of momentum really well, and obviously had a great season, finished where they did. And this season, I think it's just caught up with them mentally more than anything. I think it's just caught up with them this year. But no, and listen, another good team. Quite like what they do. I like the way they've got a solid base and the build from there. But obviously, it's not quite worked out from this year, and I think they will end up going into the Championship. But it'll be interesting to see what they do, because they'd have a strong squad if they can keep that squad together in the Championship. So it'll be interesting to see if they can, and if they keep, obviously, what football's like. If they can keep Wilder in there as well, then it'll be interesting to see if they can bounce straight back.
I think they've got to keep him in, if I'm honest. That's my opinion. So Newcastle, thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, they're having some interesting times at the moment. Like I think I personally think Newcastle are sleepwalking a little bit towards relegation. I think what they did at the start of the year might be the saviour, because obviously they had a really good start to the league. I think they were in the top 4 at one point. Have I made that up? After the first 4 or 5 games.
No, there was having a point with them flying. Yeah, I don't know whether they were top 4, but I know they were. When you're looking at Wilson scoring all the goals and stuff at the time, weren't they?
Yeah. So, but yeah, so like a really interesting time for them at the moment. I mean, like I said, like I think they're kind of zombie mode at the moment, walking towards relegation, and obviously their injuries are piling up as well. So I feel for them a little bit, because unbelievable place, Newcastle, unbelievable club. So yeah, it'll be a shame to see them drop out. But as I said, like league table doesn't lie.
It's just hoping Ings gets hat-trick against them for us, mate.
Absolutely, yeah. It's down to the dice.
Dice will be on our side that day.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Man City, an easy tie. We've got these, mate. We've got these, not a problem.
Yeah, we've got these, like we've got Bielsa. Yeah, classic. No, yeah, listen, unbelievable what City are doing at the moment. I think like if you don't like watching City, I think it's like I'm not sure if you like football. For me, like they're unbelievable at the moment. And some of the tweaks that Guardiola's like starting to do now, it's like very, very Ferguson-esque in terms of reinventing, in terms of bringing a couple of players in and tweaking tactics and stuff like that, which is like why Ferguson was so good for so long. So yeah, really, really are hitting a level at the moment, City. So it'll be an interesting game, because obviously these 2 or 3 fixtures now coming up will be the two game a week that we'll get into as well. So which isn't ideal. Like it's you obviously you'd like a full week prep to play Man City, let alone a couple of days. So yeah, we'll see what we can do with that one.
I wouldn't mind having a full month's prep with the Bayern Munich side, mate, to play Man City, if I'm honest.
Yeah, could you do that? Could you do a 6-week pre-season and then go into that game?
Yeah, but we need games behind closed doors. I think for me, love City, love what they're about, love Pep Guardiola. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one because I'm thinking now as that comes up, it's easy saying it on like a presentation like this. Yeah, we're going to go after him, we're going to do this, but I think we need to be realistic. So, on actually, what would we be doing? So that's going to be an interesting one when we come to that game 9 on how we're going to approach this game, and we'll probably be pulling back and forward, knowing me and you on how we are. So yeah, that'll be an interesting
I was
one.
going to say that, like, we always debate over how to play against certain teams and stuff, and when you're working with people and stuff, it's always good to try and find that common ground and work together. So yeah, it'd be interesting.
And on to the last fixture.
So hopefully we've won the league before this point, and it's just we can put the kids in this game. But no, yeah, like again, Everton have another one having an unbelievable season. I think they dropped a place last night due to Chelsea winning, so down to 6. But I really like what Ancelotti's doing. I think he's really cute with his tactics and like little subtle changes he does in games to get results or at least affect the opposition that they're playing against. So yeah, I mean, like I was speaking to one of my friends last night. I would personally love to see Everton finish in the top 4, but yeah, be obviously 10 games to go. We'll see what happens.
Everton are actually 5th with a game in hand over Chelsea, 1 point behind. So it tells you a lot about what they're about, and obviously they've got a really experienced manager in Ancelotti. And I think another team who are flipping between a 3 at the back and a 4 at the back. So it'll be interesting to see how we approach this game. I was just thinking there, Si, how do you think it works when we play against one of these teams? Can we still have our squad even though they're in their squad? Or should we leave that up to what the audience say?
Yeah, do you know what, mate? I didn't even think about that.
No, I didn't. He just popped up there as I was thinking, because I was actually thinking of Rich Allison. I was thinking, well, if he plays for Everton, can he play for us? We again, like I said to you, this is the first time we've done anything like this, and hopefully we'll take a lot from it, us as well as you guys. And just leave your comments below, and we'll just work around what you think. Are you happy with us having the same players in our squad, or do we take them out when we play that team? So leave your comments below, and then we'll work around that. If you don't put anything in, then we'll just keep them in our side. What do you reckon, Si?
Yeah, do you know what? Like, I mean, well, I wait to say what everybody thinks, but like, just thinking about that particular point there was like, I know we're playing some teams where we don't have any of their players, but I was just thinking, for example, it might help in terms of a little bit of reality in terms of, because obviously, like, if we throw a dice for the result and stuff, like, then it's a made up result. We don't know who's played well and who's not played so well, and affecting selection and all that sort of stuff. So that might actually help us a little bit. So, for example, if we can't select Ender Stevens against Sheffield United, then that takes our only left footer out of the team. So that might affect the way we play. Same as if we, like you just said, then mate, if we have to take Richarlison out, that might affect it as well. So I'm swaying down the. I'm gutted though because we'll lose Ruben against Ruben. I'm talking about like he's actually my mate and he's playing for us, isn't he? But yeah, we'll lose Diaz against Man City, but that might be a good little twist.
Yeah, no, agree. So just leave your comments below, and then we'll work around you guys. Like I say, if anybody can actually put this team together in something, or whether it's a football manager or I don't know, maybe a FIFA, or I don't know what is around these days, Si, but if anybody could put something together where we can actually get a result from it, then brilliant. Then we're more than welcome for you to jump on board and help us out with these results.
Okay, guys. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our little intro video to our new project. And like we said, we're always interested to hear what you guys think, and obviously interact with you guys. So anything you have to say, please let us know. But yeah, so looking forward to planning a week building up to playing West Ham away next Saturday. So they're playing Leeds United on Monday night, so we'll get a good idea from that of how we'll set up and play against them. So yeah, if you can, guys, make sure you watch the game and give us your thoughts, and we'll go from there. But yeah, as I said, like, really excited about this project. It's something a little bit different. It's something we thought me and Mike could do together for the next few weeks until we can resume the coaching journey.
Yeah, I think just to finish on there, I think when you're looking at like a project like this, these are usually done on your pro license and A license, where you have to go work in a team and analyze an opposition and how you break them down. So we just thought we'd make it live and share it with you. If it is something that you're going to enjoy or you do like, make sure that you press that like button at the bottom. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. It just shows your support to us, and it's free as well. All right, and like Simon said, and I've mentioned throughout this video, get your comments in there. You know, it doesn't matter what it is, just get your comments in so we can work off and make this a better project as we go forward. This is the first time we've done it, so we know it's going to be rusty at the start, but we want to get it to a level where we're all learning from it on a weekly basis and we all enjoy this sort of thing and take something away from it. But thank you again, and we'll see you next week.